Myles Garrett said after the game, I mean, this ish is embarrassing. We got to be better on defense. We got to be better as a team. They slowly chipped away, and we did a solid job holding them to 3 when we could. But then eventually the dam broke, and we just whatever they wanted. And we have to continue to play for 60 minutes. Kevin Stefanski said after the game that he won't consider a QB change. Hey, Myles, enjoy that $160 million, because this is what it's going to be like in your future. Until you get a quarterback, this is what you're going to be resigned to. Now, look, maybe getting $1 million, $2 million, $2 million a month every game check, Ocho, before taxes.
Yeah.
Maybe that lessens it some. This is your fate. This is your fate. This is Ocho. Let's be real. This is what's going to happen in Cleveland.
Unless something miraculously happens, we do know that Joe Flacco can go on a run offensively.
It's over, Ocho.
He can give you
it's over. You watched him today. It's over.
Oh yeah, today. But you got to understand who they playing against now. You're playing against a division opponent that knows you very well. Let me ask you a question.
The Baltimore Ravens didn't just beat the Cleveland Browns. They humiliated them 41-17 in a game that will be remembered as a turning point in Cleveland's season. A performance so one-sided, so lopsided, that it sent shockwaves across the NFL. And once again, all eyes turned to one name, Shedeur Sanders. Because while the Ravens walked out with the victory, the real story wasn't about Lamar Jackson carving up a defense or Baltimore's defense suffocating Joe Flacco. The story was about the Browns and the storm brewing within their own locker room. A storm that Shannon Sharpe and Chad Ochocinco Johnson lit fire to on nightcap. From the opening moments of their reaction, it was crystal clear. They weren't going to sugarcoat it. They weren't going to dance around the truth. Shannon Sharpe, with that familiar tone that slices through the noise, dropped the hammer. The Browns' time with Joe Flacco under center needs to come to an end. And Shedeur Sanders needs to take over. And when Shannon said it, you could feel it. This wasn't just hot talk for ratings. It was conviction. It was what Browns fans have been screaming from the stands, typing furiously across social media, chanting inside the stadium after every stalled drive. Cleveland's frustration isn't just about losing a game. It's about wasted potential. This team is built to compete now. The defense has stars. The weapons are there. The pieces are in place. But when the man touching the football every play looks like he's running in quicksand, you can't help but feel like the season is slipping away. Shannon made it clear, Shedeur Sanders isn't just the future. He's the present. And the Browns can't afford to wait. Ochocinco, never one to bite his tongue, leaned into it as well. He spoke about energy, about how teams thrive when they have belief in the man leading them. And right now, there's no belief in Flacco. Every incomplete pass, every limp third down attempt, every turnover, it's draining the life out of a roster that deserves better. And then, just as the flames of controversy were burning, Adam Schefter threw gasoline on the fire. A report that stunned the NFL world. A revelation that made jaws drop. Schefter revealed that Shedeur Sanders had reportedly told people he would refuse to play for the Ravens if they drafted him. That he wanted no part of Baltimore. That this rookie quarterback, not even one full season into his career, had already drawn a line in the sand. It was bold. It was controversial. And it was the exact kind of moment that defines how the league views Shedeur Sanders. Shannon Sharpe didn't hesitate. He said this wasn't arrogance. This wasn't immaturity. This was confidence. A kind of confidence that is almost unheard of from a young quarterback. Shedeur isn't playing checkers, he's playing chess. He knows his worth. He knows the stage he wants. He knows the story he's writing. Ochocinco backed him up. He said today's NFL is different. The days of rookies quietly accepting whatever fate the league hands them are over. Players like Shedeur Sanders know they are more than just pieces on a board. They are brands. They are leaders. They have power. And for him to take control of his own destiny like that, it might not sit well with traditionalists, but it sends a message. Shedeur Sanders will not be defined by anyone else's terms.
Myles Garrett said after the game, this ish is embarrassing. We got to be better on defense. We got to be better as a team. They slowly chipped away, and we did a solid job holding them to 3 when we could. But then eventually the dam broke, and we just whatever they wanted. And we have to continue to play for 60 minutes. Kevin Stefanski said after the game that he won't consider a QB change. Hey, Myles, enjoy that $160 million, because this is what it's going to be like in your future. Until you get a quarterback, this is what you're going to be resigned to. Now, maybe getting $1 million, $2 million, $2 million a month every game check, Ocho, before taxes.
Yeah.
Maybe that lessens it some. This is your fate. This is your fate. This is Ocho. Let's be real. This is what's going to happen in Cleveland.
Unless something miraculously happens, we do know that Joe Flacco can go on a run offensively.
It's over, Ocho.
He can give you 4.
It's over.
You
watched him today. It's over.
Oh yeah, today. But you got to understand who they playing against now. You're playing against a divisional opponent that knows you very well. Let me ask you a question.
And here's where it got really interesting. Ocho posed the question that lingered in every fan's mind. If Shedeur refused the Ravens, if he drew that hard of a boundary, what does it say about his commitment to Cleveland? Does it mean he sees this as his kingdom? Does it mean he's ready to plant his flag in Browns territory and declare it his home? Shannon's response was electric. He said you don't turn down an NFL franchise unless you know you're destined for something else. And Shedeur Sanders, in his mind, was destined for Cleveland. For this city. For these fans. And that when the moment finally comes, when the Browns take the leash off and put him under center, the NFL will feel that ripple effect. But this wasn't just talk about football. Shannon took it deeper. He said Shedeur Sanders represents a shift in culture. He represents a generation of athletes who don't just play the game, they command it. Who don't just take what's given, they demand what they deserve. And that makes people uncomfortable. That ruffles feathers. But that's exactly why it's so powerful. Ocho nodded, saying the Browns are staring at a decision that could define not just this season, but the next decade. Because Shedeur Sanders isn't just another rookie. He's something different. Something bigger. And the fans, the players, even the analysts, they all know it. Meanwhile, Joe Flacco's struggles told their own story. Every time he dropped back, it looked like he was borrowing time that no longer belonged to him. Every mistake, every missed opportunity, only made the chance for Shedeur grow louder. The crowd knows it. The locker room knows it. And thanks to Shannon and Ocho, the entire country knows it too. By the halfway point of their segment, one truth had become undeniable. This isn't just about quarterback performance. This is about identity. Who are the Browns going to be? A franchise that clings to the past, hoping for magic from a veteran who's run out of tricks? Or a franchise bold enough to embrace the future and give Shedeur Sanders the reins? The question hung heavy. But Shannon and Ocho weren't asking anymore. They were answering. And their answer was clear. It's time. As Shannon Sharpe's words echoed through the segment, you could almost hear the frustration of Browns fans across the nation aligning with him. It wasn't just analysis, it was a rallying cry. And that's when Chad Ocho Johnson leaned in, adding his unique blend of passion and perspective. He reminded everyone that football isn't just about X's and O's. It's about emotion. It's about energy. And right now, Shedeur Sanders brings the type of energy this franchise has been starving for. He painted a picture, a stadium buzzing with anticipation as Shedeur takes his first snap. The offense, suddenly alive. The defense, feeding off the roar of the crowd. The city of Cleveland, rediscovering hope after decades of heartbreak. That's what Shedeur represents. That's why the chants are growing louder every week. And then Ocho made it personal. He said he knows what it's like to walk into a moment where people doubt you, where critics are waiting for you to stumble. But when you step into that spotlight and deliver, that's when legacies are born. And for Shedeur Sanders, the stage is set. But here's the catch. Every week the Browns delay this decision, they're not just risking games. They're risking momentum. They're risking belief. And Shannon Sharpe made that point crystal clear. He said football locker rooms are fragile ecosystems. Players know when the guy under center isn't getting it done. They feel it in the huddle. They see it in practice. And when that doubt creeps in, it's hard to shake. That's why the timing matters. That's why every snap Flacco takes is one more snap Shedeur doesn't get. One more chance for Cleveland's season to slip away. And then, like only Shannon can, he brought it back to accountability. He said the Browns organization needs to make a choice. Do you care more about protecting Joe Flacco's feelings or about winning football games? Because right now, those two things are in conflict. Ocho jumped in with a point that hit home. He said Shedeur isn't just sitting there waiting, he's preparing. He's watching. He's learning. And when his number is called, he's going to be ready. But every competitor knows you can only sit for so long before that fire inside you needs to be unleashed. The conversation turned fiery when Shannon asked the question out loud. How many more blowout losses does it take? How many more lifeless offensive drives? How many more times do we have to watch Joe Flacco struggle before the Browns finally admit the obvious? It was rhetorical. Everyone knew the answer. The Browns can't afford to waste another week. And then, as if the debate needed more fuel, Ocho circled back to Adam Schefter's report about Shedeur refusing the Ravens. He called it a line in the sand moment, proof that Shedeur isn't afraid to control his narrative. And in a league where franchises usually hold all the power, that's revolutionary. Shannon agreed, but he took it even deeper. He said Shedeur Sanders is showing leadership before even becoming the starter. Think about that. A rookie, not even playing yet, already dictating the direction of his career. That's not ego. That's vision. That's foresight. That's a young man raised to understand the business of football as much as the game itself. And let's be real, this didn't come out of nowhere. This is Deion Sanders' son. Prime time's blood runs through his veins. Confidence, charisma, leadership, it's in his DNA. Shannon Sharpe knows it. Ocho knows it. And soon, the entire NFL will know it too. But then came the sobering truth. Shannon reminded everyone that the NFL is unforgiving. It doesn't wait for you to catch up. It doesn't care about your potential if you never get the chance to show it. And that's why every day Shedeur sits on the sideline is a day wasted. Ocho built on that point, saying this isn't just about development, it's about opportunity. You can't simulate game speed in practice. You can't replicate the pressure of a live defense breathing down your neck. You only learn those lessons under the lights, with the clock ticking and the fans roaring. And Shedeur Sanders deserves that opportunity now. The two of them painted a picture that was hard to ignore. Shedeur stepping onto the field, the offense instantly ignited, the stadium alive with hope. They weren't just imagining it, they were calling for it, demanding it. By the time the segment wrapped, the message was undeniable. Shannon Sharpe and Chad Johnson weren't just making a case. They were issuing a challenge to the Cleveland Browns. A challenge to stop clinging to the past. A challenge to stop fearing the unknown. A challenge to embrace the future that's already sitting on their bench. The Browns are at a crossroads. Stick with Joe Flacco and risk wasting a season alienating fans and watching the locker room fracture. Or unleash Shedeur Sanders and give the city of Cleveland the hope, the fire, and the future it desperately craves. Because this much is clear, Shedeur Sanders isn't just another rookie waiting his turn. He's a statement. He's a movement. And every day the Browns delay is another day they risk being left behind. Shannon Sharpe and Ocho put it in plain terms, it's no longer a matter of if. It's a matter of when. And for the Browns, the time is now. And that's the reality, folks. The Browns can't afford to stall any longer. Shedeur Sanders isn't just the future, he's the present. And it's time for Cleveland to make the move. If you believe Shedeur deserves that starting job, drop your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget, for more hard-hitting NFL news, controversies, and drama you won't find anywhere else, hit that like button, subscribe, and join us here at WZSM, the home of NFL Insights.